Alright, so we're going to go over the side splitter theorem. What that means, guys, is if a triangle like this has a side going right through the middle, and this means it's parallel, this means parallel, that means that if you put A over B equals C over D, which means we can make it into a proportion. So let's look at the first problem. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways of how to set this up. So you can do it like 24 over 30 equals x over 10. You could do 24 over x and 30 over 10, just like this. 24 over x equals 30 over 10. And then you can do both one of these and flip them. So you can do like 30 over 24 and 10 over x. So you can do x over 24 and 10 over 30. So each way is going to give you the same answer. Either way, if you cross multiply each one of these, you get 240. It's 30x, both of these. And then you get x equals 8. So once again, setup, there's multiple ways to do it. We talked about that in class. But either way you do it, just make sure when you're writing this, guys, let's say if I'm looking right here, please don't take 24 over x and then 10 over 30. Look at the arrows going in the wrong direction. Or also, do not do this. 24 over 10 and x over 30. You can see my arrows or my lines crossed. That's incorrect. So make sure we're paying attention to that. Alright, let's do this one. Move this over. So we can do x over 8 equals 5 over 4, or you can do x over 5 equals 8 over 4. Either way gives you your cross multiplication of 40 equals 4x, which gives you x equals 10. Biggest thing is just setting up like this. One of those ways, or the other way where I do the reciprocal of those two is the same thing. Alright, next one. Let's move this over. You can do 20 over 4 equals x over 5, or you can do 20 over x equals 4 over 5. Either way is right. You get 100 equals 4x, which gives you x equals 25. There you go. Alright, last one like this, like that theorem. You can do 4 over 3 equals 6 over x, or you can do 4 over 6 equals 3 over x. Regardless of the way you do it, you get 18 equals 4x. I think it comes out to be 4.5. That's about right. You just divide by 4. Alright, so this changes things up here. You can see that I now have a 6 on the inside of it. Oh, by the way, that needs to be moved. The x needs to go right here. Let's cross that off. Okay, so the moment the x is on the inside, that's how things change, everyone. So if I look here, so what I'm going to do now, the moment it's on the inside, you have to write the triangle twice. And the reason you have to do that is because when we were talking about the side split, you got 3 and the 2. Those are pieces of the triangle. The 6 and the x are actually the whole length of this triangle. So if you were to use 2, that's not really the right thing because 2 is only a piece of the triangle. So what we're going to do is we're going to write 3 here and 6 here. That is this little small one that's right here. Now we're going to use the big one, which is the big guy right there. So now this side length right here is going to be the sum of this. So 3 plus 2 is 6. And the bottom one is simply just x. So now I have 2 triangles here. Then I can now find the proportions of 3 over 6 and 6 over x. Once again, there's always multiple ways to write this. So just because I write it this way doesn't mean it's the only way to write it. So 36 equals 3x. You should get x equals x 12. There we go. Shoot. Yep, I just made a mistake. This should be 5. See, I made the one mistake I tell you guys not to make. 5. So that should be 3 over 5. Because I knew I got a wrong answer. And that gives me 30 and gives me 10. My bad. Make sure to remember, this is 5 because I take 3 plus 2. My fault. Alright, for this one, I'll make sure not to make a mistake. Once again, we have a number on the inside, so now we're going to split the triangles up. We're going to get 6 and x. We're going to get 18 and 16. Remember, I got 18 because I added those two together. I take 6 over 18, this over this, and this over that. So x over 16, cross multiply, I get 96 equals 18x. And all I have to do is take 96 divided by 18, and you get a decimal, which is fine. You get 5.3 repeating, so I'm going to write that line above it, which means it repeats forever. Alright, 2 more problems in this one. So once again, my variable's in the middle, inside the triangle, so I'm going to write it twice. There's my 8, there's my x, and here's my big one. So that's 24 and 18. I take 8 over 24, and once again, you can have multiple ways to set this up, but you always get the same answer. So 8 times 18 is going to give me 144 equals 24x. We're going to divide both sides by 24, and you simply get x equals 6. So there you go. Alright. So this one, we have 2 variables involved in this problem. We have x and we have y. So the first thing I would try to do, guys, I would try to pick a variable you want to solve. Because there's 2 different ways we've learned in this video how to solve a problem. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for x. Now to solve for x, I'm only going to use these numbers here in yellow. I'm not going to use the other ones. So it's simply 6 over x equals 18 over 6. And if you did 6 over 18 and x over 6 is the same thing. You get 36 equals 18x, which x comes out to be simply 2. Now, to find my y, I'm going to use the colors in yellow again. You can see I changed them. But now if you remember, well, hey, there's a number on the inside, a variable on the inside, that x, so we're going to write 2 triangles. I get 18, I get y, I get another big one, I get 20, I get 24. So now I'm going to make my ratio, or my proportion, 18 over 24 equals y over 20. I take 18 times 20, and for my answer I'm going to get 360 equals 24y. And all I have to do is divide that number by 24. I get 15. So my other answer is y equals 15. Those are my 2 answers.